máy chỉ là cái công nghệ kia suy chẳng người ta cũng đi con đi họ mà xem con đi họ này họ sang con này sao được làm với họ cũng đã cha rẻ này họ cũng sẽ họ xin được cảm ơn anh tôi đánh như bạn isi besan tôi thắng ngon đúng không? Ini nak besan tôi ini phải này. Lắm rồi có hơn. Đây, chúng ta này phải lên. Isi shop đánh câu gì đó. Besan tôi. Đó, là hả? Itu quảng hóa rồi, itu quảng phản nông cua. Phản đây cua và nông cua. Đó.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The festival will resume in 10 minutes. Thank you for staying with us. Good afternoon to all VIPs, panel of adjudicators, and members of the audience. Thank you for staying with us, and for those who just arrived, we welcome you to the Malaysia Primary School Band Festival 2025, brought to you by the National Band Directors Association of Malaysia, NBDAM, and SJKC Lumpur, supported by the sponsors JS Music, Skate Strange Studio, and Percussion Store. Hope all of you had a good rest and had a good lunch and ready to continue the band festival this afternoon. Now, without further delay, we would like to welcome the next school, which is going to be SJKC Kuala 2. Please welcome them on stage.
Yeah. You guys are looking good. Right? You sounded quite good, right? And I'd just like to maybe focus, because my specialty is on cooking. I'm a clarinet and like that, right? And I'd just like to focus a little bit on the lyrics, which I noticed, I'm not sure how many of you here are clarinet players. And I'm going to mention a few things. If you think it's useful to you, listen very carefully. First of all, I noticed your hand position on your clarinet. And also, I noticed that on the saxophone, not so much on the flute, a little limited by how you sit with your instrument. How many of you can show me what is the shape of, let's take one of your hands, the left hand, the one that's free right now. What's the shape of your hand when you're holding your instrument? Right, okay. Like that, right? Is curved, correct? Now, for clarinet, important, do not lift your fingers too high. Because getting your fingers back to the hole will take a long time. And sometimes you miss, right? I bet, it's the same experience I had when I started playing clarinet, right? So try to keep your finger a little closer. You're playing. And another thing is, this especially for clarinet, your first finger, how do you position your first finger when you play the throat A? The A. Can you just press the A? Can you show me? A. Yeah, the throat A. Okay. You see, sorry, if I can, I can take one of your clarinets. All right. You see how I press that A? Does it look the same as how you're pressing that A? You are doing this, correct? See how I'm doing? Yeah, it's the side of your first finger. This is a very important hand position to learn, because this will affect crossing the register in the future when you go up to the higher laryngeal register. Right? When you go to the B from the A in the future, if you hold it like this, how are you going to close that first hole? You can't. Right? Unless you slide your whole finger down to that first hole. So always remember the side of the first finger. One way for clarinet players to remember which part of your first finger actually touches the throat piece is put your first finger on your F sharp. Yeah, put your first finger on your F sharp, the first hole. Yeah. Okay? And then while your finger is still on that first hole, touch the A key. No, stay on the F sharp, stay on the F sharp, and touch the A key with your first finger. Stay on it. Keep that hole closed. Yeah. Yeah, close it. Stay on it. And now touch the A key while you're holding on to the F sharp. You see, you can't touch it if you try to touch the A key with the tip of your finger. You can only touch the A key with the side of your finger if you're holding the F sharp. Can you see that? It's a rocking motion. It's a rocking motion. It's not a pressing motion. It's a rocking motion. You rock. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
you, Mr. Raymond, for your comments, and thank you again, SJKC Kulai 2. Next up, we would like to invite SJKC League Rubber to the stage.
point out some things, few things. The first thing is when we are playing the melody, so the percussion, we are giving the good support, but we cannot cover the melody, cannot cover the sound. Okay, so you need to give support to the band, but cannot cover that. You are one of the music. So whenever the music is playing, you soften a bit. You please soften a bit. So when the time for you to shine, come out, then you come out. Okay? And then this is things. And the second thing is when the percussion plays, actually we need a very clear and clean, like the clean and clear sound. So this is some of the things I noticed. Thank you. Good job, everybody.
Thank you, Madam Chow, and thank you, SJKC Lee Rubber. Before we proceed to the next performance, I would like to remind everyone again, please silence your phones and please minimize all sorts of movements, especially during the performance. The restrooms are located at the left side of the hall, but we would appreciate if any movements in and out of the hall through the main door. We would also like to inform that our sponsors have booths outside from JS Music and Percussion Store especially. Whenever you are free, or rather feel free to visit their booth. Members of the audience, we would like you to be seated before we proceed to the next performance. And now, we would like to invite the next school. Please welcome SJKC Thung to take the stage.
Okay, congrats everyone, the good performance. I have some time to demonstrate a little bit about some of the instruments. Okay, so I noticed some general thing about claves here. Okay, you play once for me. Okay, now it's good, but we need to make it a lot more brighter. So, the way we hold this, I would recommend don't hold it like this. Hold it like this, right? Just put it on top of your hand, not holding it. Your hand, put it on top, like that, just like that. Alright? And then there's a sweet spot for every different claves. So you have to find a sweet spot. Can you hear that? Okay, so this is better. So you have to remember where you hit it and play it exactly the same place every time. Okay, so find a good spot, you can make a little mark on it and then just play it on there every time. Yeah, that's a lot more better. Okay, just one thing. Yeah. I think overall it's quite good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your comment and your demonstration, Mr. Parker. And of course, thank you again, SJKC Thung. before we proceed to the next performer or the next school, we would like to thank all of you again who stayed throughout the event. Thank you so much for your support, all the schools, parents, and teachers alike. We appreciate it very, very much. And of course, again, we would like to thank our sponsors, JS Music, Skate Strange Studio, and Percussion Store for supporting this event. And our hosts, National Band Directors Association of Malaysia and SJKC Lumpur. So, we will take a short break after this performance, and without further ado, we would like to welcome SJKC Yakchi to come to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Oh, I have 10 minutes with you. This is spectacular. All right. Did you guys have fun playing? Yeah, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun. There's such great things happening. I'm hearing really good sound quality from a lot of the brass players here. This is awesome. I want to talk about balance a little bit. You guys know what balance is? Yeah? If I speak English, you guys all speak English well? Yes, you can understand what I'm saying? Perfect. Balance. Back in percussion. What's your name right here playing snare drum? What's your name? Okay. I saw a lot of really great snare drum playing here, a lot of accents, really great. What does balance mean to you? Balance is speed and sound. Okay, fantastic. Great. What does melody mean to you guys? Do you know what melody means? Do you have an idea what melody means? Don't know how to explain it? Does anybody know how to explain melody? Don't know? Melody is like a song. You guys ever sing songs? Maybe when you were little kids, you sang songs. Yeah? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You heard that song before? That's a melody. Now, if somebody was playing something to help make the melody sound really good, it might be something different in the background, but the song is the melody itself. It's the part that you would sing along to, the part that you would hum. Does that make sense? If I describe melody that way, is that kind of what you mean? Yeah. So one of the things we have to be really careful of is that we can always hear the melody. And when we go to rehearsals, we want to make sure that we're learning everybody's part to know when we hear the melody, and we need that to come out so that everybody can sing along and hear that melody, and when we're supporting the melody. Both parts are equally important, but we have to know which role we're in at all times. Does that make sense? Yeah. Do you mind if we try a couple of things? Okay. And one of you guys bring me some water if you have it there. Can we do a little bit of the Tempest? Okay, great. You guys have that one out right now? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Let's take a look. Close to the Okay, do you see measure 63? Yes? Measure 63? Okay, good. Can you guys just play measure 63 for me? Starting right there. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Good, okay. Great. Can you hum the melody for me? So you kind of sing it in your voice. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. I know you guys can't hear them back there, but they're going. They know what the melody is. You guys know it, right? Do you know what the melody is? Good. When you were playing, could you hear the melody? Yeah? Good. Do you feel like you were playing louder than the melody or softer than the melody? Not sure? Okay, you have to know. What do you think? Do you think you were playing louder than the melody or softer? Don't know? Okay. This time, who thinks that they are playing the melody? The dun 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 dun. Who was playing that? Saxophones? Okay. Anybody else? Trumpet players? Yeah, you guys are playing the melody, right? Okay, this time we're going to do it again, and everybody that's not playing the melody, even if all you have is bop, just that, I want you to play softer than the melody. Can you try? Okay, here we go, one more time. 1, 2, 3, go. Good, now, percussion. You guys, those so much better. It was way more imbalanced. In measure 60, which I can't see. In measure 66, do you guys have something that gets louder and louder and louder there? Yeah? Good. Now, if you guys are playing what you just did, where it's a little bit softer, then when we get the... Does that make sense? Can we try that? Here we go. Same spot, measure 63. Ready? 1, 2, Okay, great. Okay, now, the people that were not playing the melody, the ones that were doing it, Bob, can you add this much more volume? So not this much more volume, but just a little bit more. Okay, we're going to kind of keep it exciting, but then when we get to da, 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 we'll go super soft there as well. Okay, go a little bit stronger, but not very much stronger. Ready? Same slide. 1, 2, and. Da, 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 da. Good, I like it. Now, when you guys get to measure 69, do you guys have accents on measure 2, beat 2 and beat 4? Ya, ya, da, da. You guys have something like that for all those sections you start at 69? So let's kind of like underplay the note before the accent, and then kind of out a little bit more exciting for the accented note. Can we try that? Start at measure 69, everybody? Good, thanks. Great. On the bass drum, can you hear these guys really well or no? A little bit? Okay. I want you to really hear it because when they play their accented notes, you actually do your hit as well. Okay? Do I still have 1 minute or no? 3 minutes. Sweet. Okay. Let's try it again. I want you to see if you can really hear these accents well and just make sure that the timing is right on with it. Okay, here we go. 69 one more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Thank you. Now, band directors always want you to watch them. Does your band director tell you to watch him? Yes, good, and you should watch your band director. Do you know what is even more important than watching your band director? Even more important. Making sure that you're listening really well, making sure that you're hearing. So, your band director might say, okay, I'm going to make these gestures to show you where these accents are. And it's really important that you watch, but even more important is that you're hearing what the band director is showing you and making sure that your ears are telling you when you are together. So right there, when we have these accents, I would encourage you, even on your band director sometimes, maybe put your hands away and just do it where you count off and you listen so that you're hearing when they do the accents and you can line those up really well by using your ears also. That make sense? Okay, can we try one last time? We're going to start at measure 69, go right to the end this time. Okay, here we go, really sneaky. 1, 2. Good, and then on the bass drum, that was really nice, getting louder and louder and louder. I would say your loudest for this size of a band is probably just a little bit too loud. Not a lot, but just a little bit. You have to imagine that the percussion instruments that you guys are playing right now are big enough and loud enough to support a full symphony orchestra of professional people, 100 people on stage. They can play loud enough. we have to think, okay, we're a small group here, so we have to make sure that our loudest is never overpowering the group that is in front of you. That make sense? Okay. Do I have 1 minute or no? No, I don't. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for playing today. I really enjoyed your performance. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for the engaging demonstration, Mr. Jonathan, and thank you, SJKC Yanchi. Now the festival will take a very short break, and we will resume at 2:50 p.m. with more performances. See you in 5 minutes. Thank you.